Welcome once again for another episode of Enwisdomization. To enwisdomize is to make wiser, to make smarter, to elevate our minds and our consciousness beyond the three-dimensional cognition. Because, as I always say, the three-dimensional cognition is where a lot of people on this planet are trapped. They are trapped on a 3D system, and anything outside three-dimensional programming, they don't get you, they don't understand you. You look strange, you look awkward, right? And the reason people see you like this, especially when you've attained certain soul consciousness, is because the system, the software running in their mind is a system of 3D reality, right? 3D reality. And for us to attain as species, for us to attain true soul freedom, true spiritual freedom means you have to abandon humanity. This is not easy to do, to abandon humanity, to abandon your illusions, to abandon, quote unquote, the reality you find yourself, the reality you've been operating with, right? To challenge those cognitive concepts in your mind and be able to leave it alone. If you are afraid of being on your own, you cannot escape the three-dimensional demonic or demiurgic programming. If you are the one who like to be loved by people, you like to follow the head, you like to follow the crowd, you like to belong. If you are any of this, it's difficult for your mind to escape the demiurge. Who is the demiurge? The demiurge is the god of the material plane, because here we talk of spiritual freedom. Spiritual freedom, we try to discuss those aspects of the hidden history of humanity that we are not being taught. Apart from the, 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 the the teachings of the school system and of the religious systems about the history of the world, there are the real history of the world that they have not been teaching humanity, because the forces, the satanic forces, the lich who control this dimension do not want people to be free. They want people in a hive mind system. And this brings me to the topic today: attaining soul freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from what? When you look at humanity, and by the way, humanity is your enemy. Humanity is your enemy. You have to leave the thinking and the cognition, the consciousness of humanity alone. Quit thinking like a human. Think like a soul. Think like a spiritual being. And for you to think like a spiritual being means that you have to separate yourself from the general population, the masses, the herd, the hive mind, those in the cognitive singularity, in the mental unification. Break away from that, because that mental unification, that cognitive singularity, is a demiurgic program. The demiurge is the lord of the matter, is the god of the matter. What in regular religious concept you call the fallen angel. All the systems of education, I've been educated, I have a PhD. You are in the hive mind. You are unable to break free from the doctrines you've received. You cannot examine reality independent of the software program running within your consciousness. So the point is that humanity, what you consider humanity, is the enemy, and you must transcend the thinking of humanity, the thinkings of your friends, the thinkings of your families, the thinkings of, quote unquote, your wife, your husband. You got to transcend those thinking, the thinkings of the school system, of the programming, of your religious systems, right? So that leaves you where? Potentially vulnerable for being alone. But that is where true freedom lies. Humanity is infected with a virus. There's a software running within this dimension. The place we are in the spiritual hierarchy of things is called the three-dimensional reality. the 3D system. And who is the creator? I wouldn't use the word creator because fallen angels did not create. What they did was reformat the already existing primordial matter, right? Many ancient philosophers, many ancient metaphysicians spoke about this. There was a primordial matter that existed, and what the Demiurge and his occultic satanic forces did was to reformat. You know what reformatting means? To reprogram the already existing reality in order to be a trap or a prison system for the soul incarnating within this physical realm. So the demiurge, after reformatting the physical world, the demiurge is the fallen angel, what you guys call Satan, Lucifer, Belphinagon, Phosphorus, Archons, the demiurge. There are many names to these fallen demonic entities, right? Including Jehovah or Yahweh. I've told people, I've said in this platform before that what people regard to as Jehovah is a fallen angel. Is a fallen angel. If you know how to decode this coded occult program running on this physical reality, right? You cannot be free if you are bent on sticking to what you know, because what you know was programmed into your head by people you don't know exist, by systems that you are unaware of. There are systems running on this planet that are controlling people's mind, and the intention is to keep soul from higher evolution. So if you cannot break away from the three-dimensional cognition, from the reasoning of humanity, your soul is not going to be free. That's plain and simple. There's no two ways about it. The 3D system is addicted. It's addicted because it is a software magnetic program running on a consistent basis to provide illusion into your soul consciousness, right? And to close your third eye from seeing reality as it is. Reality as you perceive it is completely different from reality as it is, plain and simple. So there are another hidden history of the world that is not what you've been taught in the Bible. That is not what you've been taught in school, right? These other aspects of the hidden history of the world is usually known by the elite, by the secret society elite who control all your academic institutions, all the curriculums you study, all the quote unquote scientific theories you study, often dictated and controlled by the elite system, by the system of elitism, and the system of elitism that created all your religion. Did you hear me? I say all your religion. Christianity, Judaism, Islam, all your religion within this physical third density material realm is a hive mind program of the demiurge. The demiurge comes in different names. In the Bible is known as Jehovah. But if you study other doctrines, other religious teachings, you see that Jehovah is Enki, Yahweh is Enki. And the codes are everywhere if you can decode the code. The number of Enki is Lucifer, is 40. And we see the same number occurring in the Old Testament and even in New Testament. Jesus was tempted in the wilderness for how long? 40 days. Moses led the children, quote unquote, the children of Israelites out of Egypt, and they were on the desert for how long? 40 days. When the deluge, or what you call the rain that destroyed the world during the time of Noah, for how long that rain, were we told that rain fell and overwhelmed the planet? 40 days and 40 nights. So you see the constant of this, because these are codes, these are occult codes, which they encoded in the scripture, but you don't understand what they are saying. The code number 40 is the number of Lucifer, is the number of Enki. Enki is Jehovah, just in different contexts, in different cultural contexts. These fallen angels manifest differently and continue their deception of humanity. Religion, as you know, All religious systems are virus. You see how you see that humanity, say COVID-19, for example, you see is a virus infecting humanity. There is a spiritual virus infecting humanity and controlling humanity. The mind of humanity is infected by this virus, this demiurgic program. According to the Gnostics, there are two different worlds in existence, or two different realities: the upper eons and the lower eons. The upper eons are where pure lights exist, where the original creator, not the Jehovah ones, not the Yahweh ones, not the fallen angels, not the God of the material existence or the material creation or emanation that many people erroneously and wrongly follow. So the lower, we have the upper realm by the pure creator, right? The pure creator of all things. And then you have the lower eon, or the lower realm. The lower realm is where we are. If you are the one who likes to, quote unquote, go to these shamans and listen to, quote unquote, your ancestors talking to you, these ancestors, quote unquote, are nothing but the hive mind program of the demiurge continuously deceiving the people. Most of your pastors, quote unquote, what you call prophecy, right, is still on the universal mind of the demiurge, of the fallen one, of the deceiver, of the lower eon or the lower realm. And the lower realm, as I said, has virus. You don't see that because you don't see the invisible grid. You don't see the invisible prison. Because if you see the invisible prison, you see that humanity on this planet, you think that God created and you're free, is wired with a prison system and a virus. And that virus has been spoken about in many ages. From the time of the Egyptians to the time of the Greek philosophers, they have discussed this realm, this invisible mind that control humanity with different names. Pythagoras spoke about it. Plato spoke about the one, right? Those we call in the philosophy the continental rationalist, like um, is it Gottfried Leibniz? Leibniz was a philosopher during the age of enlightenment who talked about monad, right? The same thing with Baruch Spinoza. They too talked about monad. The monad. What is the monad? The monad is a spiritual program running within the lower dimension, within this 3D system, right? Other people call it the universal mind. And the universal mind is the mind of the demiurge and his archons, right? The demiurge is the fallen angel, is the god of the material realm. Remember, we've been programmed, we've been taught that the world you see, the moon, the stars, all these planetary systems, including those who believe in astrology. Astrology is also a lower, the science of the fallen eon or the lower eon, right? Because they're all dealing with cosmic mind. So if you are the one who like to go to astrologer to be told, um, to be, I'm not saying it doesn't work, it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Just like people who do magic, they're effective, but the point I'm trying to make is that you're dealing with the mind of the demiurge. You're dealing with the prophecy of the demiurge. So most of your shamans, most of your astrologers, most of people who, quote unquote, see visions and contact, quote unquote, their ancestors, are dealing with the hive mind system, with the computer program of the fallen angel. They are dealing with the lower eon, because this is what is controlling the physical plane of existence. And knowing this will help us to understand that freedom is not easy, because most of the things that we gravitate to, most of the religious concepts we gravitate to, in all religion within this physical reality, all of them are created by the demiurge. All of them are computer virus running constantly and uniting humanity into a hive mind system. They are uniting humanity through a hive mind system for the service of the demiurge. for the service of the fallen angel. This is not what religion is teaching you, because we're not here to make you comfortable. We're here to destroy that illusion, that that false perception inserted into the program. And you cannot do that if you are not willing to challenge the assumptions and the programs you have been indoctrinated. You know, indoctrinated in schools, especially religion. Religion is a virus. There's a virus in our consciousness. Religion is a virus. I keep saying it. And this virus is not from the true creator. This virus is from the lower realm. And as I have said, Jehovah deals, or Yahweh deals with the number 40. And if you understand your court, if you understand the hidden history of mankind, this other hidden history, you are never going to be taught in the church, because the church people who are teaching you this thing don't know it, because they too are under the demiurgic cosmic virus of the demiurge. They too are under the cosmic deception of the demiurge. Because once you understand that when you read the Bible, you see the consistency of the number 40. Many people never questioned it, because the being or the entity that controls the physical dimension, that is his code. That is number 40 is his code. Old Testament, and to some extent, New Testament as well, is coded with the number 40, is the number of Yahweh. And as I said, go to Sumerian culture and study that that number 40 is the number of Enki. And Enki is Lucifer. Enki is a demiurge. This is what you guys call your quote unquote God the Father, who is God the Father, also connected to Zeus Pater. Zeus Pater is the Lord of the heavens. It's Zeus. It's Zeus. It's also called Jupiter. When you interpret it in the context of the astrology, it's also called Jupiter. So your God the Father is the demiurgic realm that runs the physical plane. That's what you guys call Lord of the host. I don't even know why anyone who has true spiritual freedom or true spiritual knowledge or consciousness should call their God the Lord of the host. What host is talking about is talking of the hierarchy of beings within the fallen dimension, within the fallen density, within the three-dimensional system. So Lord of the host is a fallen God, is a fallen angel, is the angel of the lower eon. That's why they call it Lord of the host. Who are the hosts? The hosts of heaven. What heaven? The system within this materialized physical manifestation, within this cosmic reality. That is what is known as the Lord of hosts, right? These are still the fallen angels, right? As most of you again call seraphim. You hear people saying seraphim, or these high angelic forms. But seraphim is the blazing serpent. That's what it means. Seraphim, that name, when you look at the etymology, it means serpent. You see, people don't know what they don't know. And many people are hooked up, like you see how you plug your radio or you tune your radio to a certain frequency. Many people have tuned their frequency, their spiritual frequency, their soul frequency to the negative energy, to the center of non-being, what they call the center of entropy, right? Or the center of service to self. These are fallen angels. The church is never going to teach you this kind of thing, because those who know this truth, those who control the system, will not teach you. But most of the people who have been indoctrinated to teach other people don't really know. They don't understand the reality from the esoteric point of view, from the hidden point of view, right? You know, they've never studied outside the program, outside the indoctrination. They never understood reality beyond that. And that is why it's difficult to free humanity from this mind virus. I'm not talking literally. There is a spiritual virus infecting people, and you see it. If you're spiritually conscious, you see it when you talk to people. You see they're trapped in the lower cognition. They don't understand the things of the higher eon or the upper eon. Their mind is trapped in talking of the system of this world. They want to be partakers of this world to the fullest. But this is a prison. You are in a prison. As long as your soul is, once your soul incarnates, right, and exists in this physical plane, you are in prison. You are bound. The soul, which is disincarnate, right, which is spiritual in essence, which doesn't have material composition, is now living in a body. And this body is what I've talked about in one of my previous videos, to be 666. Your physical body is the beast, because um, many texts of the ancient world uh, told uh, told us, even though those particular knowledge have been suppressed by the church, by the leaders of the church, by the satanic controller in the church, they've suppressed the true knowledge. The fact that mankind lives in the physical body, and the physical body is a slow down vibration. You're not supposed to be in this physical material realm. You became physicalized because you rebelled, because you fell from the higher eon. You fell into matter. And now you've bought the culture of humanity. You've bought the culture of the mindset of the parasites, of the demiurgic parasite governing this physical plane. In the movie, the Matrix, you see that the great architect, go and watch that movie. I say those who produced that movie called The Matrix are occult in the occult. They are in the esoteric. So they are telling you something that probably you're never going to learn from school or the church. That movie is not just movie. I keep saying it over and over. Go and watch the movie, not one time, several times. The movie called The Matrix. Those who wrote and produced it are in the known. They have the kind of knowledge that controls this world, right? They have it. So you see that in that movie, the great architect, that is why even in Freemason and these other secret societies, be it the Order of the Golden Dawn, be it the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, be it those in the Platonic secret society, Neoplatonism, those in the Hermeticism, those in the Theosophical Society, they all understand what the great architect is. And if you see the symbol of the Freemason, you see the G. You see the G with compass, right? What does that G means? The great architect is the demiurge. That is your Jehovah. That is the God of the material plane. Those people in the secret society understands it. You don't. You don't, because they are the ones who give you the exoteric, plain, simple, watered down religious concepts to be playing, which they know those are not real. Those are not real. And some of you will say, oh, how can secret society give us religion? They are the ones who masterminded all major religions upon this planet, right? Even if you study the history of Christianity, these are the secret society who brought it as a way of, again, setting the program of the demiurge in order to keep soul vibrating on a low density. But our souls have to live and transcend the thinking of humanity. If you cannot transcend the thinking of humanity, you're still thinking like a human, like humans do, the culture of human. As soul that came from the higher eon, we don't have to imbibe the culture of humanity, because the culture of humanity is a death culture. There's nothing about humanity that will take your soul to the higher eon or to transcend this control system. Nothing of the human culture, nothing, like zero, nothing. What you call, quote unquote, the beautiful human culture, there's nothing here that will take your soul to leave this plane. What it means that once your consciousness is trapped within this system, you are going to die. But what they have not taught you is that you will be recycled to go over this reality again and again and again. And some of you have been here for thousands of years, reincarnating and making the same mistake over and over, and being blinded by the God of this world over and over. Your soul is a food to the icon. That is why they don't want you to leave. That is why they put the virus in the electromagnetic frequency band that control this reality, right? They put the virus to seize your mind so that you will never ascend to the higher eon. You never go back to your original soul, original home. And the original home is the upper eon. right? There are certain literatures, especially those people who are in the secret society, they know the truth, but they don't want you to, because they want you to remain with them on the lower eon. They want you to go to hell with them, if you like, because the hell is nothing but dense matter. This is hell. You are in hell. You are already in hell. The fact that your soul is lowered into a physical material body, into a physical, dense reality. This is a low vibration. And what is matter? Matter is a slow down vibration. When photon of light, I'm talking of quantum physics, when photon of light slows down, it congeals into physical manifestation. This is not just in terms of spiritual teaching. This is also what the physicists and particle physicists and the quantum physicists are beginning to realize now. Years ago, during their mechanical um, Newtonian kind of physics, they didn't know this, and they thought that people who are in the spiritual consciousness are just crazy. Now they're catching up with what people who are in the higher elevated mind consciousness have been saying for years, and they're saying, oh, density is an illusion. Physical manifestation is an illusion. What you see out there is nothing but a false illusion. What you see, what you gravitate to outside of you, outside of your soul, is non-existent. And that is why I say that the physical world is controlled by the Demiurge, and the program running here is deep. Go and watch the movie, The Matrix. They explained everything. Why I say this is because people who wrote that movie are in the occult, and they possess the kind of information that rule the world. But like many people do, they want to be entertained. They want to have fun. When you talk of higher metaphysical knowledge, nobody, like, you sound like you're blabbing. People don't get you. They want to talk about football. That's what their minds are trapped. These are low density thinking, right? When you talk of advanced science, advanced consciousness that transcends the physical reality, they don't get you. They look at you like you're speaking foreign tongue. They look at you like, what are you saying? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because your consciousness is trapped in the lower dimension run by the great architect. In that movie called The Matrix, you see that the great architect is the creator of the program, the virus program running, but he is on the background. This is what you call Jehovah. This is what you call Enki, the great scientist, Enki, the demon, Enki, the fallen angel, who is the creator, right? Who is the creator. Now, the software program actually running, this virus I'm talking is, if you watch that movie, is Agent Smith. Agent Smith can multiply himself into, because it's a parasitic organism, it's a cosmic virus infecting people's minds and keeping them to sleep. You don't know that you are sleeping. You are sleeping because the first thing that the demiurge do upon your soul's incarnation in this physical world is to keep you numb, is to keep you, it stings you. How you say a bee sting, or a bee stings somebody, injects poison into you, right? And you fall asleep. And in your sleep, you're dreaming, and you think that your dreams are real. When your third eye opens, as when you wake up. And when you wake up, you're never going to go back. You see humanity, everybody's walking with a blindfold. Everybody's walking with a blindfold. Everybody. And when you want to talk about soul-freeing things, they don't get you. They just want to talk about, I want to get a master's degree. I want to climb the corporate ladder. I want to get married, have many children. You can't even bring children here if you don't understand this kind of knowledge. You can't, because you bring in souls here to be trapped. People who understand this knowledge don't even want to have a lot of children because they understand reality. That is why the greatest prophets of old never had, they don't even want to get married in the first place. They understand reality beyond humanity. What matters is your soul. What matters is returning to your home, the home of your soul. Because those things you're chasing here, look at the money, for example, look at the dollar bill. Look at the symbols in the dollar bill. It's a symbol of the secret societies. That tells you that the system, the monetary system, The political system, the economic system that runs this plane is controlled by the demiurge. Look at the dollar bill. Just hold the dollar and see all these sigils and symbols encoded in them. What does it mean? What do they mean? They are from the secret societies, right? So they created a system that runs this plane to trap your soul consciousness from higher evolution. So your soul cannot rise. Your soul is in prison system, right? And this prison system, this virus running and controlling humanity, as I say, call it the universal mind, the cosmic mind. Some philosophers talked about the monad. The monad, this spiritual, immaterial, disincarnate, self-aware, self-consciousness, self-replicating agent or organism, which is part of the mind of the one. When the ancient people talk about the one, they're talking of the demiurge, because the demiurge projected his virus through his archontic parasite. Archons are what you call mini demons, because these demons are serving in the chain of command. These demons are serving the great demiurge and his center of entropy, his center of negativity, his center of service to self. There are two polarities in existence, and that also manifests in the physical plane in terms of duality. You see in politics, Republicans, red, blue, fighting constantly. These are manifestations sometimes of the duality in the higher eon, the split duality of the mind of the demiurge. Remember, the demiurge has been cast away from heaven, right? When they say heaven, they're not talking of the lower, they're talking of the higher eon. Been cut off from the source, from the original, from the prime creator, from the source, been cut off. So what does he do? He now creates the physical world, quote unquote, in his image. That's why some of you are tricked that God created, quote unquote, man in his image. What image? He inserted a program, he inserted a software, computer virus, or a malware within your consciousness to resemble him. That's why you worship him. That's why you trapped worshiping Jehovah or Yahweh, right? And your mind will never transcend. And if you see some of us talking like this, you say, oh, maybe the devil is possessing you, because you never had the truth. You never had the opportunity to be told the truth. What you have had from childhood. I was brought up as a Christian, I was brought up as a Christian. I didn't understand this until my few years back, when I broke away, when my eyes opened, when I have my spiritual awakening. I understand how the world works, that every single thing I have been taught from my childhood is error. And that takes a lot of effort to shift. When you find the truth, it takes a lot of effort to accept the truth. Because am I going to abandon what I've been taught all my life? What everybody I know believes in? I'm going to look different, and I don't want to look different. Again, this is the primordial wave, and I am the wisdomizer. Please, we have to work hard to elevate our minds and our consciousness and get off the three-dimensional programming. Signing out.